Hey guys, welcome back. Today on The Untidy Artist, we are making the June Birthstone Flower Fairy. Fun fact, today is actually my husband's birthday, so it seems appropriate to be posting this today. Big shout out to all of the June birthdays. This is part of my Birthstone series, so if you missed the other Birthstone fairies, you can check those out on my YouTube channel. If you enjoy this tutorial, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do. It helps me out a ton. Okay, let's grab some supplies and get started. The flower we'll be using for our June fairy is this beautiful pink flower I got from Michael's, and they come in a bunch, so you get the added bonus of extra flowers. I've got some thread that matches the flower. I've got this pretty green and then this metallic light pink color. For this series, I have been using the Swarovski Crystal Birthstone mix. The birthstone for June is an Alexandrite, which is this really pretty soft pink. An actual Alexandrite stone can also look green in different types of light, so we'll also be adding green to our fairy. I have some E6000 glue and a toothpick to attach the stones. I have this beautiful glitter mix I got from Michael's. Up close you can see it has hearts and different sizes of glitter, and it reflects the light beautifully. I've got some Mod Podge and a paintbrush for the glue, a sharp pair of scissors, and of course my trusty glue gun set on low. Okay, let's get started. Obviously we'll need a fairy. If you're new to making fairies, you'll want to check out my basic tutorial where I teach you how to take a wooden bead, a piece of floral wire, and some embroidery floss for the skin and the hair, and twist it into this beautiful little doll. Now, I also have a skin tone tutorial if you want to do a different skin tone for your flower fairy, and you can see I've already started her hair. This is a new tutorial I have coming up. It is for long princess curls, and I'm really excited about this, you guys. It turned out so pretty. Let's get started. First step is to dress our doll. There are more detailed instructions on how to dress your doll on my in that basic flower fairy tutorial. You can see I gave her a little v-neck and a pair of shorts. And if you are doing this hairstyle, you want to make sure that you're very careful with the curls the entire time that you're making your doll. Then set your doll aside and grab your flower and pull it apart. And then you're going to start layering the petals together in different ways to create the skirt. So once you have it, the way that you think lays nicely, go ahead and hold it up to your doll to see how it looks. And if you're happy with it, what you're going to do is cut an X into the center of each petal. This will allow us to slide the petals up and around our doll's waist. So you're going to do that with all of the petals, and once you have an X cut into the center of each one, you're going to start dressing your doll. So starting with the top layers of her skirt, slide the petals up and around her waist, arranging the petals as you go so they overlap nicely. You'll also, if you're doing this hairstyle, you'll want to make sure that you're being careful with those curls. So I really was careful the entire time I made this doll to not disrupt the curls. Then you're going to grab your glue gun and add tiny dabs of glue between the layers to hold her skirt in place. And you do that in the front and in the back. And this is what we've got so far. Then you're going to grab the green thread and give her a pair of gloves and shoes. You'll find a link for a step-by-step tutorial for gloves and shoes below in the description of the video. I walk you through exactly how to create gloves and shoes for your fairy doll, and I love the detail it adds to all of my fairies. Now I'm going to grab my Mod Podge, pour a little bit of it into a plastic lid. I grabbed my glitter and my paintbrush, and I'm going to start painting some of the glue around the doll's waist. What we're going to do is add the glitter just around her waist, and you'll notice as I'm doing this that my paintbrush starts rolling all over the table. I don't know if my table's crooked or what's going on, but it was really funny. So I'm just painting that glue on, sprinkling the glitter over it and tapping it down with my finger. The paper was supposed to catch the glitter. You can see I also probably needed a bigger piece of paper, but this gives us this really pretty sparkly detail around her waist. Now we're going to add our crystals. So I'm taking my E6000 glue and my toothpick. And one tip is if you put a towel under your doll while you're doing this part, if those little tiny crystals happen to fall, instead of bouncing all over the table, they'll just fall onto the towel. I can't tell you how many of these I've lost. So I put a dab of glue on the doll right where I want to put the crystal. And then I pick up the crystal with the toothpick and put it in place. So you can see I put one right at the, where the V is at the top of her dress, and then I'm adding one little crystal to the tip of each petal. So just taking a little bit of glue, and then I pick up that crystal and use the toothpick to move it around and attach it to her skirt. So I went through and I added a little crystal to the end of each one of the petals, and this is what we've got. I feel like it just really tied everything together. Okay, now the next step is to style her hair. I have a video coming out very soon on exactly how I did this. It is a lot trickier than you'd think, and I probably made 12 different dolls with this hairstyle before I figured out the easiest way to do it. So I'm excited about that tutorial. Make sure you watch for that. And the last thing we're gonna do is make her a crown. So this is just a little piece of baker's twine. And what I do is I measure it. So I just measure it around her head to kind of get an idea of how big it needs to be. And I'm gonna hold it back up to her and make sure that that's the right size. And then you simply twist one of the ends back around the circle, which gives you this really pretty crown. So I'm just winding it around the circle we already created. And I end back where I started, add another dab of glue, and then I trim off the ends. And we have a crown. And then the last detail I added was actually thanks to my daughter. She said, Mom, she needs more sparkles up by her hair. I dipped the crown into my Mod Podge and then dipped it into my glitter. So you want to make sure that you get the glitter even all the way around. And I really tried to focus on getting the smaller pieces of glitter, but there were a few hearts that ended up on the crown, and I think they're just perfectly placed and turned out so cute. And the last thing we're going to do is crown our Birthstone fairy. And that's it, guys. We're all set. What do you think? I think she turned out so beautiful. I am so excited for this long princess curl hairstyle I have coming up. Please watch for that. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. I have already picked out the flower for the July fairy. I'm super excited about that. If you're feeling social, share your fairies with me with the hashtag UntidyArtistFairyDoll on Instagram. You guys are awesome. I love hearing from you. I love seeing your beautiful fairies. Thank you so much for all your kind words and your support, and we'll see you next time.